are now just over 2 weeks away from the 2025 NBA draft, and the atmosphere around the league is buzzing with anticipation. With the current collective bargaining agreement putting tighter financial constraints on many teams, the trade market is expected to explode in the coming days. Teams are looking to maneuver smartly to stay competitive while managing their salary caps and luxury tax burdens. One of the biggest stories circulating right now involves the Boston Celtics and the future of their two-time NBA champion guard, Jrue Holiday. Recent insider reports have shed light on Boston's mindset regarding a possible trade for Holiday, revealing that the Celtics are indeed listening to offers and exploring the best possible moves to ease their financial strain while maintaining a competitive roster. Boston finds itself in a challenging spot financially. The luxury tax penalties they are facing this season have skyrocketed to levels that simply cannot be sustained if they want to remain contenders. In fact, the Celtics are currently paying more in luxury tax fines than on their actual player salaries. And that's a recipe for long-term trouble. With key players like Jayson Tatum expected to miss significant time, potentially the entire season, due to a torn Achilles, Boston's championship ceiling is effectively capped. This makes it even more crucial for the front office to be strategic about who they keep and who they move. Among the core pieces on the Celtics roster, Jrue Holiday stands out as the player most likely to be traded. His contract is large, but unlike other high earners, Holiday still brings a wealth of value on both ends of the floor. He is a defensive stalwart and a steady veteran presence, someone who rarely makes poor decisions and serves as a connector on and off the court. Many younger contending teams see him as a desirable piece, not only for his skill set, but also for the experience and leadership he offers in the locker room. Trading away a player like Jaylen Brown would send shockwaves through the Celtics organization and fanbase. Brown is more than just a player. He is a franchise cornerstone with a massive contract north of $50 million. Moving him would signal a major rebuild or reboot, a step that the Celtics are unlikely to take given the current landscape of the Eastern Conference. Derek White, meanwhile, is considered one of the best contracts in the league for his production and age. At just 29 years old, his value remains high, and trading him would likely be a misstep that could cost the Celtics dearly. For these reasons, the focus has shifted squarely to Holiday as the primary trade asset. Chris Porzingis is another name on the block who could generate trade interest. His contract expires soon, making him an attractive piece for teams looking to clear cap space or acquire a skilled big man. However, when it comes to moving salary and extracting value, Holiday remains the top candidate. Despite being 37 years old, his contract carries a hefty price tag, and with the Celtics juggling several all-NBA talents in their prime, shedding Holiday's salary could provide much-needed financial flexibility moving forward. It's important to remember that Holiday was a key factor in Boston's championship run last season. He was a clutch shooter, hitting over 43% from beyond the arc, with nearly 60% accuracy on corner threes. His veteran presence and defensive prowess were integral to the Celtics' success. However, this past season showed signs of decline. His efficiency dropped, and he was less effective in the postseason, which mirrored the struggles of the team's offense as a whole. These factors, combined with his advancing age and large contract, have made the Celtics seriously consider moving him. The reality is that if Boston wants to get a fair return on Holiday, they may need to include first-round draft picks as part of a trade package. This is not uncommon in deals involving aging veterans with large contracts. Teams interested in Holiday see value in his leadership and defensive ability, but they also want assurances and assets in return that justify taking on his salary. Several contending teams have reportedly expressed interest in Holiday, each with their own motivations. The Dallas Mavericks, for instance, are looking to bolster their roster around Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis, and adding Holiday could serve as a smart short-term solution while Irving recovers. The Mavericks won big in the draft lottery, and a player like Holiday would provide a reliable ball handler and defensive presence during critical stretches. The Los Angeles Clippers also seem like a natural fit. They could benefit from more veteran voices and championship experience in the locker room, especially with James Harden handling the ball late in games. Holiday's ability to manage the offense carefully without making costly mistakes could help stabilize the team during high-pressure moments. Then there are teams like the Houston Rockets and Orlando Magic, both of which are young and in need of veteran leadership to help guide their promising but inexperienced rosters. Houston, with a youthful core mostly under the age of 25, could use Holiday's championship know-how to push them closer to contention in the tough Western Conference. Orlando similarly is building a team with bright young stars, but lacks the experience to compete consistently. Holiday could bring that missing piece of maturity and steady play to their backcourt. One proposed trade scenario involving the Celtics, Utah Jazz, and Orlando Magic has gained attention. In this three-team deal, Boston would receive Jordan Clarkson from Utah and Wendell Carter Jr. from Orlando. The Magic would acquire Drew Holiday along with a Boston first-round pick in 2026, while Utah would get KCP and multiple second-round picks from Orlando. On the surface, this trade offers something for all parties involved. For Boston, the main goal is to shed salary and gain a movable contract in Clarkson, who could be flipped before the trade deadline. Wendell Carter Jr. provides a promising, versatile big man who can protect the rim and stretch the floor, often compared to former Celtic Al Horford in style and impact. This trade would give Boston financial flexibility and a player who fits their core going forward. Utah, led by savvy general manager Danny Ainge, would get rid of Clarkson's contract and bring in KCP, who, despite a down year, is still considered more valuable in terms of winning contributions. Plus, the Jazz would add 3 second-round picks, assets that Ainge always values highly for building a sustainable future. Orlando's motivation for this trade lies in adding a proven veteran in Holiday to a young roster that badly needs leadership. While they'd be giving up Carter and some draft picks, getting a first-round pick from Boston softens the blow. Orlando's front court is crowded, making Carter somewhat expendable, and acquiring Holiday could accelerate their development and competitiveness. This deal, while complex, illustrates how teams are trying to balance immediate competitiveness with long-term planning under the current financial rules. For the Celtics, it's about staying in championship contention while managing the looming luxury tax penalties. For Utah and Orlando, it's about acquiring assets and players who can help their respective rebuilding or retooling processes. If Boston can pull off this deal, they would position themselves better financially and add a solid young big man in Carter, who could be a core player for years. Utah would benefit from draft capital and a player swap that might fit their system better, while Orlando would gain an experienced leader in Holiday to mentor their promising young guards. Given all these factors, this trade feels realistic and could be a win-win-win for the three teams involved. Boston's willingness to listen to offers on Holiday signals their priority to clear salary and remain competitive, especially with key players like Tatum sidelined. It also shows the delicate balancing act teams must perform under the financial constraints imposed by the NBA's current structure. As the draft approaches and the offseason heat picks up, the Celtics front office will likely continue to field calls on Holiday, weighing offers carefully. The rest of the league will watch closely, knowing that landing a player like Drew Holiday could provide that extra edge in an already competitive playoff landscape. Fans will be watching with interest to see if the Celtics pull the trigger on a deal that could reshape their roster and financial outlook. Holiday's next destination could dramatically impact multiple teams' fortunes next season, making this one of the most intriguing storylines heading into the 2025 NBA Draft. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. Could Jayson Tatum be hinting at a sooner than expected return? That's the question stirring buzz around the NBA community after the Boston Celtics star posted a cryptic but optimistic message on social media this weekend. Still in the early stages of recovery from a devastating Achilles tendon rupture suffered during the closing moments of Game 4 against the New York Knicks in the Eastern Conference semifinals, Tatum offered a glimmer of hope to fans and insiders alike. Day 25. The days are starting to get a little easier, he wrote on X, formerly Twitter, in what marks his first public update since undergoing surgery. Though no official timeline has been given by the Celtics organization, Tatum's post has sparked quiet speculation in league circles. Could the 26-year-old be progressing faster than expected? Achilles injuries are notoriously complex, often requiring 9 to 12 months of rehabilitation. But sources close to the situation have hinted that Tatum's discipline, physical condition prior to the injury, and access to elite medical support could set the stage for a surprising early return, possibly even before the All-Star break next season. The Celtics, known for their tight-lipped approach to player injuries, have not commented on the post, but internally there's said to be a cautious optimism brewing. Tatum, one of the league's premier two-way players and the face of Boston's title ambitions, has reportedly been relentless in his rehab schedule, spending hours daily with team medical staff and personal trainers. For now, it's all whispers and watchful eyes. But if Tatum continues to share subtle signs of progress, fans may soon have more than just hope to hold on to. Could this be the beginning of a comeback story? Only time will tell, but the first signs are promising. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.